Hello, welcome back once again. In today's video, I'll be dealing with effective virtual leadership. So let us see what is the concept of virtual leadership. So let me take you to the roadmap of my presentation. So first, I'll be dealing with virtual leadership, the concept. Then second, I will talk about the challenges that the leader faces while leading his team virtually. Third, I will also share with you the best practices that one should follow while leading his or her team virtually. So let me take you to the first topic, that is the concept. Now, virtual leadership means the ability to lead a team using the remote working environment. And this we already experienced during the pandemic, where we had to do all the tasks through the online mode. And this online mode is indeed difficult. There is not a very easy task because first, the first major hurdle is the people who are using the online mode should be able to understand how to use the online mode. And then, of course, after using the online mode, understanding the use of the online mode, then the next hurdle is the ability to communicate effectively and also understand, the problems faced by the other person. So all these problems, can create definitely misunderstanding and misinterpretation while leading a team virtually. Now, the virtual leadership is required because the leader not only has to be in touch with the workers or the employees or his team members constantly, but he also has to inspire the workers. So, motivation and inspiration is necessary even from the remote working environment. So it is definitely required in an organization where you expect the workers to accomplish the goals of the organization. So the basic aim of virtual leadership is to help the workers achieve the goals and objectives of the organization and continue with their work. So having said this, let us now move to the next topic, that is the challenges that normally one faces while leading his or her team virtually. So the first major challenge is there is lack of face-to-face interaction. This lack of interaction, face-to-face interaction, could become a major hurdle in the process of communication. In the sense, there could be many misunderstanding and misinterpretation that could arise, and moreover, it could definitely sometimes lead to aggressive behavior from the employees as well. This is because most of the, feelings and the emotions of the employees could be understood in when we are dealing with them in a face-to-face situation, because the expressions are easily revealed on the faces. But in virtual mode, in behind the camera, or even if the camera is switched on, there could be problems from the leader's point of view to understand the emotions of the employees. So there is a possibility that the time factor when the leader calls for a meeting may not be suitable to all the members. So therefore, that could become a major hurdle in the process of communication. So now let us move on to the next topic, that is due to lack of interaction, there could be lack of rapport, there could be lack of understanding. So a leader who feels that he is free at 8 p.m. at night may not consider that his members or his employees are also working women, and so they may not be free at 8 p.m. at night. There is a possibility that his employees or his members, they might be very busy cooking food for their family members. So therefore, one has to be very particular about when to call for a meeting, and this is possible only when you understand the from the perspective of your members, from the perspective of your employees. And then next is the difference in communication styles. So different people would like to use the different platforms to communicate. For example, some people would feel that when there is a message sent through email, it is a much better way of communication, in the sense a record can be maintained, and moreover, it is a formal means of communication. Whereas nowadays, all formal means of communication is used through WhatsApp, and this WhatsApp messages, people who are not very comfortable using WhatsApp, or who feels that WhatsApp is definitely a hindrance or a disturbance, can be away from WhatsApp, and this can really create problems in the process of communication. Or there might be people who are very comfortable using the video call, but there might be some who are not very comfortable using the video call, and all these problems has to be understood by the leader. And when the leader is not understanding, he is rather behaves in a very aggressive manner, and he works like a dictator, then of course there could be various problems and misunderstanding taking place in the communication process. The lack of timely feedback from the leaders end could also finally lead the workers, in such a situation whereby they are not sure as to how to proceed with the work, and this could really create a lot of problems in accomplishing the goals and objectives of the organization. Lastly, I would say that the leader may not be prepared, to discuss with his team members. So he may not have got the time to prepare, and therefore he doesn't have a, clear-cut agenda that he has that is there in his mind, and he's not able to share the agenda with his employees in advance, due to which the employees will not come prepared for the meeting. And so, in this process, the leader might, continue with his meeting for a very long time, or there might be very delayed, the meeting that is taking place because there is no clear-cut preparation and agenda. And this could definitely lead to a lot of difficulties in the process of communication, lack of attention from the employees end, a lack of interest from the employees end. This could be the major reasons why, virtual leadership doesn't work efficiently. So, having said this, I would like now to take you to the best practices that one should follow while leading a team virtually. The first is the leader has to be very clear that the meeting that he conducts should be short. That is, it should not go on beyond 15 minutes. And he can conduct daily video calls, not to talk about the work assigned to the workers, but to discuss with the workers about their, talk to them, communicate with them, discuss with the workers about other issues apart from the work assigned to them, thus, building up a rapport, thus building up an understanding between him and the workers. So it is very essential that he gives, personal calls, or rather, he makes a one-to-one call, video call with his employees, and this can be done on a daily basis. So, in order to understand the difficulties or the problems that are faced by the employees, and also he has to be very considerate. So the employees also feel very good about it. They understand that the leaders are considerate, and therefore they also open up with their problems and difficulties. And he can be very relaxing in the sense, the deadlines could be very flexible, so that, he has a good rapport with his employees. So, having understood this, I would say that the next point that one should keep in mind is a good leader will always see to it that the email chain has been created, where he keeps on posting information as to how the workers or how the employees should go about doing their work. Next is, it is very essential that the leaders, they have become good listeners rather than speaking more. It is required that the leaders, they listen more. So if they listen more, then they can offer help to their employees who might be facing a lot of difficulties, because they are almost, away from the workplace. So in a way, they are isolated. So when you are isolated, you want people to communicate with you. You want people, to be with you in the form of some sort of communication. And this can be done by an effective leader. I would say then the leader has to be confident, no doubt. He has to be assertive, but at the same time, he has to be very humble. So your humbleness will come only when you're not proud of yourself. You're not proud of the achievement of the others. You are, moreover, you should be willing to encourage others and motivate others to work for the organization. Next is you have to also be empathetic, that is trying to put yourself in the position of others and trying to understand what the other person might be facing. Most of the time, the leaders who deal with people from the virtual platform only thinks about himself or herself, does not understand the other person, or does not try to understand the other person. So in a way, this could actually hamper the process of communication, because there might be some people who might be just agreeing to the leader just for the sake of agreeing or just pleasing the leader. If there might be many of them who may not speak up, but they may not be willing to be a part of the meeting at a particular time. So therefore, it is essential, to build a rapport with all the members and thereby seek their consensus for conducting a meeting at a particular time, or giving the workload or delegating the workload to the members. And this way, the virtual leadership can be very effective. So having said this, I would like to thank all of you for your patient listening.